Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So today's episode is not the episode that I was going to bring. In fact, I did a thing, not necessarily a bad thing, but as a result of what I've done, I'm not going to be able to bring you the content of the TTS. If you're tuning in for that, that will be back very soon. But let me tell you what I've done. I accidentally sold my Golf GTE. I know, how do you accidentally sell a car? Well, it kind of went like this. I kind of mentioned it a few weeks ago that I was selling my car, and one of you nice subscribers came down and had a look at the car, and after going around for a drive, you felt it wasn't for you. And you know what? That's the first time that I've ever had a viewing of a car, and I was glad that I didn't sell it. And the reason why is because I began to get a bit attached to that car. My wife has been driving it for a while, and then I started driving it because my place of work, they decided that the charges that they put in, that they were going to charge minimal fees for, and nobody was using, they decided, well, they spent all this money on these charges, might as well let people use it for free. So that meant that my journey to work, which normally cost me around £30 a month, which is now double because of the increase in fuel to around £60 a month, with the GTE was going to cost me nothing. Mind you, that £60 because I was driving the S3, because it's a nice drive into the office. But with the GTE now being totally electric, because I can drive to and back from work, it's about just under 17 miles return journey. It means I can charge a car at work and go home and come back and charge it again, and it doesn't cost me a penny, which is brilliant. So I started to use it. Of course, other people at my work started to see the car, and they're thinking, maybe that's the car for me. And next thing you know, I'm getting into this bidding war with somebody who made me an offer, and before I know it, the car was sold. So we've now sold the car, and I am without a car. So we're gonna have to get that car ready, and that's what we're going to do today. But it doesn't end there, because you know me, I wouldn't sell a car without a plan. And there was a plan, but there was a bit of a high risk strategy, because if I didn't it's another car, if I didn't win this car, then that would throw the whole thing off scale, and well, I would have lost the GTE, because the GTE is a great car. I really do like driving it. It's a car that I didn't think that I would be in this position and getting rid of it, having owned it for a year. Okay, so there's a few things that I need to do on the GTE that has been sitting in the background, and the service is one of the things that I need to do. So let's get that done, and then we'll come back and then have a chat about said new car. Right, so first task today, we're going to drop this suspension, because I need to reseat this spring. It's making a lot of noise. It's not seating properly because the rubber cup that was in there went missing. We've now got a replacement, but I need to do it properly. So the easiest way to do that is to drop the suspension. Now with the VW and Audi suspensions, there's two ways to do this. You can either do a split here and then pull the suspension arm up. That's an arm and a leg. Or the easiest way is to drop the whole arm, disconnect the drive shaft and the drop link, and then take the whole thing away. It's a bit more involved, but believe me, it's much easier than splitting this bolt and then getting the special tool, which I do have, and then forcing this up. It's a lot less effort. So that's the route we're going to take. Now I've done a lot of the work off camera, because all it is a whole bunch of time lapse. So the drive shaft is pushed through. All we need to do now is release the 4 bolts on the top. We're going to release the brake caliper, and we're going to place him here so we don't strain the cable. That's very important. And also the other bit that you have to remember is to remove the ABS sensor. If you don't do that, you will have a bad day, trust me, because this will break, and it's not that difficult to break. So we've disconnected that. We just need to do this, and then we're good to go. So time lapse commencing now. Right, so suspension's off. So the first thing we see is that this is not aligned properly. This should be up to this stop here, and then that spring should follow right to the end here. Hopefully you can see that there. So that's out. Also here, this cup is not in alignment either, so that's probably where we're hearing the creaking noise when we're turning under load. So we'll take off the top nut, we'll realign the spring, and what we'll do is we'll probably use a bit of cable tie to strap it in place, and then we'll get this sorted out right, and hopefully that should sort out our noise. Okay, so the strut is now put back. We can see it's right at the end there where it should be. See it there? So that's the rubber mount and the spring, and then we got our bump stop here, and then here we've got the cap. We can see it sitting in the groove where it's supposed to be, so that's nicely done. And now I can put it back together. And if you're wondering why there's no dust cap, it's because they're out of stock at the moment. The car actually didn't have any when I got it, so it will get one at some point, because even though this car is going, it's going to be serviced by me at least once anyway, and we'll put it back in when they come back in stock. Okay, and also if you notice, I didn't use any spring struts to secure the springs before removing the lock nut. I bet a lot of you are thinking, oh, it's going to ping off, but because these are lowered springs, you don't need them. So I can actually see the nut at the top there, and I can do it without it. That's the benefit of the H&R springs. And the one other thing, if you've put in H&R springs in, make sure the writing is the right way up. So if you can read it, it's the right way up. If it's upside down, your springs are the wrong way up as well. Okay, so that's how you know. Right, let's put the nut on and get it back on the car. Okay, suspension all done. Now we've got to do the oil change. That was actually really easy to put back together. Right, let's get the oil change done. Right, service time. So what we're going to do, we're going to release the cap. Yes, I have got a pair of marigolds on, live with it. Right, we'll release the cap, just release the, that just basically allows the oil to flow through. Now this car is pretty simple to service. Once you take the tray out, which is probably the most complicated thing, you then get access to the pan underneath, and we'll just release the oil and let it go. We will check the air filter. We've got a K&N filter in here, remember, but we'll just check it to make sure that it's not dirty, and then we'll top it up with some new oil. Right, so we've got the air filter out now, just to have a quick check. And getting this air filter out is no easy job. But as you can see, this air filter is absolutely fine. This is the dirty bit underneath, and that is clean. And I would expect nothing less, because this hasn't been put in that long ago, so I wouldn't expect it to be dirty in the slightest. But it's doing its job, because the top bit here is nice and clean. Alright, let's put this back together, take it for a test drive, and then I'll give it a verdict. Okay, so back from our test drive and everything is a-okay. There's one thing that we've got to reset now, and that is the service light. And to do that, we're going to use our trusty OBD 11. Right, so let's log on to this and then reset the service light, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is you need to go to other. Actually, you need to go to app. So click on the app, and then in workshop you scroll down, you'll see service oil or oil service inspection. Well, actually inspection and service oil inspection. Okay, so we've done this service inspection, and what we're going to do is we are going to apply that. So we'll do that. So we're going to do a reset, activate. That's going to cost me 10 units to do that. So we've done that now. We're just going through the process of doing that. You can see on screen. And then once that's done, we'll then do the oil reset as well. So that's done. Good. So actually, you'd think that the service inspection one would do the oil as well. It probably does, but you know what? Just to belts and braces, we're going to do the oil reset. So we're going to do a reset there. Activate. And that's done too. Good. Okay, and that is it. That is how you do an oil reset and a service inspection reset on OBD 11. Right, so just to make sure that's done, I've taken the key out of the ignition, lock the door, come back in again, and now we get straight in, and the car doesn't tell me that it needs an inspection. It just tells me that the proactive occupant is not available because that's been switched off. But the car has been serviced, and we can start off and we're good to go. Done. So that is it. The car is now serviced, and more importantly, is ready for its new owner. Alright, so just to keep you up to date with what's happening with the S3, because this has not gone off the boil. So we've pretty much cleaned up the cylinder head. Everything is clean. We're just going to give it a bit of a detergent wash out. That's why it's in this empty can here. The pistons. Now, we ordered some new pistons. They did come, but for some reason they sent me the wrong ones. They were different. Not only did some of the pistons not have rings, but if you look at the top of this piston here, let's do it the other way around because that's backwards. Let's do it forward. So you see that piston? You see how it looks there? You can see it's got quite a little bit of a deep dish. Now compare that to this photo here, and you see that they are different. So after talking to the VW group, they sent me the wrong ones, so I'm getting the right ones sent out to them. Their mistake, they got the part number wrong. So that's partly the reason why we've gone to servicing the car, the GTE, but also of the distraction that I mentioned earlier. But as soon as those pistons come back, we'll be back on this, and it shouldn't actually take us too long to put this car back together. A lot less than what it took to take apart, would you believe? Because this car's got to go. Yes, we're going to be selling this car after we've given it a complete shakedown, make sure everything is okay. We will be selling this car. It won't be staying that long, and that was always the intention, to sell this car. So yeah, so if you're interested, tap me up. Okay, so that's a garage update and that's a car update. So let me just talk to you about where I got the servicing plan now. So on screen now you can see that I'm looking at Irwin. Irwin is the VW database that anyone can use. You just need to create an account. You then log on, and then it costs about €70 to be able to get the information that you need. And if you look on screen now, you will see the service plan that I went through. So on that you can see that we basically got a whole lot of information that we'll be able to use, that any mechanic would normally use, vehicle technician would use to service a vehicle, and this is it here. So it's literally what I've done was I've gone through everything that you see here, or most things that you see on here, and that is what the service plan would normally entail, as simple as that. Now in terms of access to Irwin, like I said, it costs about €70 per hour, and all you need is an hour. Log in there, you navigate to where you need to, and then just download the information. You can even download a complete workshop manual, and that's because manufacturers have to do that by the European law, which gives rights to repair to end users, and they just charge you a nominal fee for that, which is really great. Okay, brilliant. So now that with the GTE is going, what does that mean for this channel? We're now down to 2 cars. Well, no, I have bought another car, and you will be very surprised because the car is not from the VW group. That's what I've been buying for the last few years, and I bought something totally different, and it's something that I really wanted. And one came up, and in fact the model that came up was the perfect model. So it's a little bit of an older car, but you'll understand why when you see it, and hopefully that will be arriving this week. And if it does arrive this week, then we will be switching to that and getting that running, because it's really important that I get that up and running as soon as possible, because at the moment I am without a car, and that's a strange place to be without a car. So tune in and keep involved if you want to keep up and see what we have coming next on the channel. In the meantime, if you are a casual subscriber, don't forget to click on here and subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you're notified whenever we receive a new video or release a new video. And don't forget to like and share the video as well. Now, like I said, this new car it's gonna, well, for me it's gonna be great, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So tune in. Hopefully we might be able to reveal it next week, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.